Vanakkam all, Gomes here. So probably all of you can go on mute. So this particular session is about OpenShift interview questions especially. Please bear with me on the words. Those wordings are taken from ChatGPT or Copilot or wherever it is. Okay. Even I am not good at all these critical terminologies and vowels which are taken from the Oxford dictionaries. I am pretty simple man from Kanyakumari constituency, Mr. John and others. Okay, so I'll just go with very simple words. So please bear with me if there are any bigger words given here, which even I won't be understanding. And to start with, before I even start, right now, unfortunately, I just heard one more news that one of our friends is in bench and he's in notice period and he is going to look for a job. And this is what I have been hearing for quite some time, I would say, right? For a few months, this is a news which is hitting me. I would say from last October itself, every week it is around, let's say, 2 or 3 people at least will be calling, right, from different companies. It's no more about service-based company or product-based company, or they are into FANG, they are a big company and giant. Whoever it is, in a way, they are losing the job. One reason might be AI, other reason might be pointing out to AI, they are trying to cut short, but actually the reason is not AI, but somehow the customers are not signing a 3 years or 5 years contract what they have been doing before. Rather, they are signing 6 months or 1 year nowadays. Right now, let's say if you want to take the company, for example, Ford. We have our friends there. They were saying that Gomes, we are involved in migrating several virtual machines around 2000 plus nodes from the traditional VMware to OpenShift virtualization. So there is a heavy task, right? And now they are going to form a team as well in Ford, especially. So direct Ford and also being a contract level, they are going to hire. So soon there will be openings coming in Ford. Okay, so you'll be able to see those openings in their website also. Even now, there is a requirement that 5 to 7 years of experience, if you have overall, at least 5 years, and relevant if you have a 2 years of experience in OpenShift with hands-on, you can share me your profile. And hopefully you know my number, but I'll share my number as well. And mail ID also. I'll share my team's mail ID, soundarya@CubenSquare.com. My mail ID will be gomes@CubenSquare.com, or you can send to findjobs@CubenSquare.com, any of those things. And you can note down my personal number itself. At this crucial stage, I would say anyone looking for any support or questions on all those things, please reach out to me. Unfortunately, I won't be taking all your calls immediately if I'm in a meeting like this. If so, please drop a WhatsApp message. I'll definitely respond to you. Okay, so please bear with me. Don't think that he's not responding to all those things. I'll respond. So Ford is one opening. Then yesterday I would have talked about yesterday in my WhatsApp status. I would have put opening for just 1 month contract. This is for again OpenShift only. The freelancer, whoever it is, should be in Calcutta to do this. Okay, they should be in Calcutta, and for 1 month they'll be working on the OpenShift monitoring, deployment, and all those things. So if you're ready for that, you can work on some other work also. They have just given that flexibility, but you must be in Kolkata to do that. Okay, only if you have current flexibility in your job and ready to travel and as a single person and work on it, you can very well go and do it. Let me know if you are interested. This is for Kolkata. Then one more opening what I have is for UAE. While we understand the war zone and all those things are going on, few lags are there. Even now, you all know that from CubenSquare, our company, we opened our branch in UAE, Abu Dhabi in the month of December. Right, we have 3 clients over there, and we are working on supporting implementation and all those things we are doing. Right, architectural design, directly go to the data center and implement that, set up the DR, and then work on the compliance perspective. We go and do the assessment, existing setup assessment, and give them the recommendation that, okay, these are the areas you can go and fix it, right? And then while we are not into a direct staffing solution, what we also started getting is, hey, Gomes, we wanted to form a Red Hat OpenShift team. Can you help me with that? And they need work from home, especially from India. And they want a lean presence in UAE also, right? UAE or Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, all those things. But now the situation is not good. Hopefully, we should pray that it should end soon, right? So those openings are there. In that, still the opening what we have is, one of the opening is technical leader. Okay, the reason why I'm saying technical leader is, we gave around 14 profiles so far. Okay, guys, client is calling. Just 1 minute. Can you take this? Client. Okay, so we gave around 14 to 15 profiles we gave. Unfortunately, all those profiles were not selected because it is like the expectations here. They are looking for a technical leader who has the Red Hat product knowledge with OpenShift, not just OpenShift, rather on the security aspect, ODF, or the monitoring, the pipeline, all those things, components as well. They are looking for the experience and telling that you need to come up with the architectural solutions. You should be able to present the POC. How optimized you can come and present the POC to me. When you present that, in a way, we have to prove our skills that with a minimal resources, I'm able to go and provide the proof of concept as well, right? And the respective technical leader is supposed to take working from India only, but he'll be often traveling to the Gulf countries, not just UAE alone, rather all other Gulf countries, to provide the POCs. With respect to the company, after the proof of concept, probably they might get the project or they might not get the project. That is totally fine. But as a technical leader, you are supposed to go and convince them. And along with you, probably some other company also will come and compete and they will provide their solution. So how better you are going to provide the solution. One more thing, what they also told us, they'll be asking this technical leader to go and present in the event shows as well. When I say event shows, for instance, when we opened, we got an opportunity to go and participate in the global AI show. So when you go for an event show like that, you'll be having a small location allocated to you. You'll be having a separate booth. You'll just put your company name and you are supposed to go and present the solutions, right? Bigger events wherein all the corporates and giants will come and participate. So there you are in a position to go and talk about your company stuff, what solution you provide. For instance, we are now supporting for Ministry of Defense in Saudi, right? Then we are supporting a Dubai bank. For Abu Dhabi, we are supporting a bank, and now we are working on another bank also, right? We are in a discussion with that. Then with Malaysia, then with Nepal, all those countries we are working, right? So you have to go and present the proof of concept, what you have been doing, what are the challenges you faced, and you take a problem statement and you work on it. Because when it comes to the booth, when you go and explain, you will not have an opportunity to go and do every POCs on the hand. Rather, you will follow a method called STAR, right? How to present your demo in a better way to take a particular problem statement and give a solution for that. Similar way is your interview as well, right? How will you provide? So these are the expectations given for the technical leader, and we sent several profiles. Somewhere the profiles were either techie or the profiles were a bit more into the leadership. So they are looking for a combination of leader and this. They should understand the business, and the client might sometime yell as well. We need to understand their frustration and provide a solution in a better way. If you do not be able to handle those pressure and the questions as well, right? This level of expectation was that, and unfortunately around 15 to 16 profiles were rejected, and still the position is open. So when this position is getting hired, he or she can go there, and then they will give the orientation, everything. Then you are responsible to set up a team of your own who will be working from India. They also, when required, they'll be traveling, but not as frequent as a technical leader, right? This is an expectation what they have set. They have given us the responsibility of Gomes. Can you set up the entire team of Red Hat along with the Red Hat leader over there? We wanted to. We are looking for some solutions on this aspect, right? They were saying this. So this is another very good opportunity for you. So if you are willing, probably I can share the profile as well. Okay, probably I won't say that, hey, the job is permanent, you can go there and all. I'll not put it that way, but at least 1 to 2 years we can guarantee there will be there, and you can look for other opportunities, or within that itself your contract will extend. Okay, because I know the founder and the co-founder there. Then one more opening which came in 2 days back from our own student who attended a demo. He's from Dubai. There is another opportunity over there again for an experienced Red Hat OpenShift architect, especially who should have the understanding of on-premises, hybrid, and cloud solutions. How we can provide a OpenShift solution on that is what they are saying. Okay, 1 minute, guys. I'm so sorry. There is a ping from Red Hat leadership. Okay, sorry. Okay, so there is another requirement on Red Hat OpenShift AI. That's what came in. Okay, see, the reason why I'm saying talking about all those things is whoever is in the verge of losing the job or in notice period and feel the pressure of having all these AI and all these jargons across Insta and all those things, don't feel bad. Just upskill yourself. Opportunities are there. Upskilling is not that hey, Gomes is marketing for Red Hat or my own company. Yes, of course, I'll do that running a business. But I would strongly say that as I am traveling now across the countries, I am getting opportunities. When I go to few countries, there will not be opportunity, but I'm investing myself in that. So being in the corporate for 17 years, whatever I learned, I'm using that experience and going and try to convince the customers to get the project. Few countries I'm not getting the project, but that is totally fine. That is an investment and learning for me. But what I understand from all these travelers across the country, opportunities are very high. Kuwait and even Turkey, we have got an opportunity. Mexico, right? All these areas, opportunities are coming in. They are looking for persons, and everyone knows that across the world, even a kid is using Copilot or ChatGPT and all those things. Doesn't mean that your job is gone. You need to have a person there available to go and convince, talk, and provide the entire solution for that. So opportunities are there. Keep upskilling and learn well. So this particular solution will talk about a few of the interview questions, which I would say that what I don't see from most of you is these are available in the Red Hat OpenShift troubleshooting page itself. They have a PDF, they have a page. What most of us didn't have, including myself, is we didn't have the patience to go and read those troubleshooting steps and go and attend the interview. Or let's say if this is a 316, right? This is a 316, which is Red Hat OpenShift virtualization course. So if you see the Red Hat official PDF, who is learning probably from CubenSquare or outside, what we all miss to understand or read before you even go and present yourself in an interview or prepare your profile, what we are missing is when you go below this particular theoretical part, every theoretical part will be having, see, you can see plenty screenshots, right? Every chapter will be having a theory continued by the gated exercise. You'll be having like this, a pretty good gated exercise, which you can do it in your Red Hat lab itself, wherein you enroll for a Red Hat course. One more thing, guys, everyone can go to Red Hat website directly and look for a product free trial base. It's not that you have to do everything in your home, purchase a big hardware, and no. You have the developers sandbox trial versions available for you to understand how the navigation is. At least you'll be able to see how the OpenShift console is, right? So these things you can do it. Then after this gated exercise, especially whenever the chapter is ending with the gated exercise, you have a concept called lab. Okay, let me show that as well. Who have the PDF, please do see this. Okay, this is really helping. I have personally seen, I myself, if you take my experience to convince any customers wherever I roam around, I talk about these scenarios also. I try to connect the dots. Okay, it's not that whatever you know, just go and tell. Not that way. When the interview is there with something you don't know and there is a jargon, you feel that, hey, probably his environment is a bit different and my level of knowledge and environment was different. Probably we need to change the fast bowler and given a spin bowler, right? Not the fast is not helping. In the third over itself, I'll change to spin bowling. Similar way, you just change the way of answering your question. That is how you take this lab environment and go and talk. That has really helped me to back the projects, even when giants have come in, right? A giant in the sense there will be big corporates will be having 300,000 employees. They will come and present, and by God's grace, just by having 27 employees here, I was able to grab bigger projects as well. Now, at the end of the chapter, you can see a green color lab will be there for every chapters, I would say. Okay, guys, 1 minute. I'll respond to him. They are just responding. Guys, 1 minute. Okay, I just responded. He's one of the technical director who is asking for an opportunity. I mean, there is an opportunity in Hong Kong for OpenShift AI. Okay, I'll talk about OpenShift AI also, how things are going there and how it is really helping us as well. Okay, now coming back, if you see this lab, you can see that you have this advanced virtual machine management, and here they will give as a scenario for every chapters will be having ending with the lab, and these labs has a scenario based thing. It is like a problem statement what your customers might be having. So take that and you go and talk so that you'll be able to make it. Okay, one more thing. Now coming back to the actual stuff, and before I move on, guys, whoever has any questions, please feel free to put your questions on this chat box as well. And let me unmute you also, whoever joined new. I'll unmute yourself. Okay. Okay, whoever wants to shoot any questions in between, please feel free to do it. Okay, now where am I standing? OpenShift. Okay, fine, we'll go with this. So I could see most of the faces who I know already. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, there is no question. Please go on mute. Okay, fine. So whoever doesn't know CubenSquare, so we are, you can go and find our details over here in our website. So we are Red Hat partners in India and IBM business partners in UAE. So we offer 4 different business units, which are software development and IT support services, IT consultation, IT training and certification. So we started with IT training and certification with Red Hat. Now we have these 3 different business units as well, and we have separate teams handling all those things, right? So as we are into more and more into consultation, we go to different banks, telecom industries, insurance for implementing Red Hat OpenShift, and we also have the support services as well. With respect to software development, we support Canada, US, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Singapore, UAE, all these clients as well on the software development. What benefit what we give to our customers or the students like US, the way we have been delivering is, when you come and join a course, we'll make sure that all these real-time nuances are also being given to you. Okay. Being said that, we'll start with the JD. Okay. So I'll jump on with this JD. What is JD? JD is nothing but job descriptions. These few job descriptions are taken from LinkedIn, Naukri, Indeed, or Monster, and all those things, right? So if you are yet to get into LinkedIn and search for a job, please do get into your LinkedIn and maintain the network. You can also reach out to me as Gomes in LinkedIn, right? If you just come to LinkedIn and search as Gomes, because I used to post several technical stuffs, opportunities, and I used to post about the technical nuances and opportunities also, right? You can come and follow there, maintain your network, and bigger your network. You will be getting the opportunities well, and you'll understand what is the latest trend available. There you can find the job opportunities as well, right? Now, let's say L1 and L2 OpenShift administrator. What does that mean? L1 and L2 means they will be between 2 to 4 years of experience. Doesn't mean that they have to be totally all the 4 years. They should be working on OpenShift alone. They can work on some other domain as well, but at least minimum 2 years relevant to OpenShift. And see, you understand the job description properly. Okay, deploy and manage the workloads, deployment config, stateful set. Strong on OCCLI, wherein you should be able to debug, log, describe, and all those things. Then RBAC, networking, basic storage, experience with operators and operators hub, monitoring, hands-on with OpenShift web console, then Red Hat Linux administration stuff, then scripting basics. I won't say that is not at all mandatory. If you know Ansible, that is well and good. Certification, I mean, you might take at the face value that, hey, Gomes, you are Red Hat partner, so you are selling the certificate. But if you see my LinkedIn, even when I was in corporate, even when I was working as a senior SRE manager in Comcast or a DevOps manager in Cognizant, you can see I'll be doing multiple certifications there also, right? Because when I was into the leadership role also, these certificates really helped me to bag and convince the customers in different ways, because my leaders will go and tell that, hey, we have a senior manager or DevOps manager who will come and talk the technical language, right? So whoever is here above 15 years of experience, who is into managerial role, please do that. That will really help you. That will give a very good push. And after that, of course, you have to go and present yourself and convince them, right? Because that is totally based on what you have learned in that particular certification, how well you have learned that, because clearing these certifications are not easy, right? So all these things really push me well. And you won't believe, comparing to the other managers or my peers, I would proudly or happily say that my salary was bit in a higher range. Okay, I'll be 20-25% or 30% more than what they were getting, because from the managerial perspective or senior manager perspective, I had this technical skills as well, and I was able to understand the language of my team and the customer as well. So I used to be a bridge. I'll go and do all those things. So being a senior manager, I worked on all the AWS solutions or OpenShift solutions or monitoring related, SRE related, whatever is coming in. When I go and discuss on the deal management, if you are just a people manager, you will not be talking about the technical nuances more and more. Rather, you will be depending upon your architect or your own team leads to come and talk, right? Instead, let's say you know that you are an experienced guy who knows the pulse of the customers, when to talk what. That is where the leaders are there, right? You will know the pulse of the customers, what they are trying to understand. Now, if you know the technical nuances as well, you can go and talk in their language and you will take it. That is why I would strongly say that please go and do the certifications. I don't mind if you, I'll definitely priority one market that, hey, come and do it in CubenSquare. We also offer all the things. But if you feel comfortable with any other partners, please go and do there as well and make sure you upskill. Right now, let's say this is a L1, L2 administrator. Now, what I see being here, now we are also vetting out the profiles for other companies, right? Or being a leadership myself in corporate, what I see is your profile is, let's say you have prepared some profile, but you don't see the JD and then try to update your profile. My request is, after you apply and then when you are clear on the JD, right? If you feel that, hey, probably if I change my profile a bit, that will really help, you do that. When you see the profile and when you see the job description like that, make sure that those nuances, whatever they have given in the job description, is replicated in your profile as well. Probably you might not be knowing Q areas. Fine, you sit and study. Who is stopping you, right? Now study that. You sit and learn, not just a theory, rather do the command line also. Theory alone will not help you at all anywhere. In few minutes, the interview will understand whether you have studied and come or whether you have a hands-on. When you do more and more hands-on, you will have errors. Those errors is the one what you'll go and talk. Okay, so update your profile accordingly and go and make it. And the focus area I can see, and all these things will be uploaded and given to you as well. You can also take a look. You need to have that CLI fluency, means command lines. You get used to that. RBAC and service accounts. Then route services network policy along with the ingress. Mandatorily understand that, right? Then persistent volume PVC storage class observability. If you are a L1, L2 guy, if you focus on these things along with the basics, go with the problem statement. With that scenario, if you understand how and try to understand what happens in the real-time scenario, if you do that, well and good. Let's say my own company, I have a couple of them on L1 and L2 OpenShift administrators. What do? I tell them that, hey, there is a deployment request from the customer, please go and do it. How will they do it? Will they go and run the OC command directly? Not at all. They have a Argo CD solution built. They'll go there, do the sync and deploy it. Done. I'll say, hey, the pod is crashing. Can you go and check what the problem is? So he or she should be able to log into the VPN, open the console, go and check the diagnostics log, go and check the monitoring to understand what it is. So when you present in the interview, you tell them that in the console itself, I'll be able to see most of the errors, because whenever there is an error, immediately log into the console, go to the monitoring or go to the pod or the overview. You select the respective project and see, it will tell you which pod is crashing or what error you have. And when you click on that, you'll be able to see the diagnostics log as well. So in the console itself, we can see all those things. Not that you have to go to the command line, run the OC command, check the namespace, go and browse and scroll the screen to understand what are the errors. What are the difference between info, warning, and error? Don't get confused on all those things. Rather, go to the web console. That will clearly tell you what are the errors and give it. If someone is yet to navigate the OpenShift console properly, I would strongly recommend that go and navigate the console. Okay, I'll also show you. I'll check whether it got opened. Okay, just to show you how it looks like, but I'll start the lab. Let me see how fast it starts. Because there's a challenge whenever we run it will take some time to start. I'll say deploy routes. Right, okay, let this command start. It will take some time. Let it start. I'll show the console. Okay, so please make sure that you navigate the console as well, understand what are things available and operators also. Okay, and these are the very basics. I would say don't need to go to Google and search and keep learning more and more. Just take this topic alone, go and understand more, go and do your practical things and come prepared enough. Whatever you do, come with that. Along with that, if a few more lines, let's say network policy, and you don't know network policy. Now try to understand the network policy, what it does from a layman perspective, right? Hey, let's say I'm in ground floor and you are in first floor. Both of us are isolated. I'm in ground and you're first floor. I have a Samsung TV and my kid broke that remote. Now, am I allowed to access the remote control on the first floor, which is isolated? What should I do? I should go and knock the door and tell them that, hey, my remote is broken. I wanted to see the news immediately. They're talking about the airlines and things which are coming in, which they are going to pick up from India. Pick up from the war zone to India. I wanted to see the news immediately. Can you give the remote? So if he is allowing me to access the remote control, so from another isolated house, I'm getting that remote control and accessing my TV, right? This is the same way we use the network policy as well, right? Wherein I am talking about isolation between the namespace, whether this application from this namespace 1 is allowed to communicate to another namespace, and whether it is allowed or denied. Can this application talk to the DB available in another namespace? That is what the network policy does. And what are the different fine-grained options the network policy gives on the latest environment? That too, if you additionally you learn, there is no, just take half an hour, you'll be able to learn it, right? So that's how we have to prepare your profile and have a boundary and go deep into that and just go and present yourself in the interview. Probably in few interviews, probably if you're totally new to OpenShift, they'll bombard you with the questions, right? What if the interviewer has a fight with his wife? Experience, guys, you are done there. No one can save you, right? Because of course, any man, married man, will not have the guts to go and shout, yell at his wife. No way, right? Who it is? So can someone raise a hand and tell boldly that, hey, Gomes, I'll be able to talk to my wife? Not possible at all. Even my team member is looking back, right? But that is a practical way of looking at, even though if you're in any party, even in like John from NTK, right? They might be good at speaking in mics outside, but not at the home. So if an interview is there with such sort of jagada, if they are there, then you are done in that interview. Don't feel for that. Unfortunately, we can't help it. Just go to the other thing. You just console that interview and tell that, please calm down. You take a vacation, go to Goa, come back, relax, and call me back. I will come again. Done. Have a relaxed thing. At least try to understand what was your expectation. Probably I'll come prepared next time. And try one more thing in a different way. I put it this way, okay? Few interviews might not help. You might feel embarrassed as well. But try to understand, hey, can you tell me how your environment is? How many clusters you have? So if you wanted to apply again, and if I really want to learn how to understand the environment, if you can help me. And most of them will really help you when you go for a request mode. Let them tell about their environment of how many clusters they have, how many applications are running in that particular cluster, how many environments are there, how many pods are running, at least some 5 to 6 details. You try to get it. Come out and note all those things immediately. Okay, immediately after coming out of the interview, make a habit of noting all those things. Don't call your lover or wife and talk that what is happening. No, come out and mark all those questions so that it will help you. That fresh mind is required, right? Come and mark that. Now coming back to L3 and senior engineer, I would put it that in current state, right? This the very poor guys are the senior engineers and the managers and senior managers and directors. Okay, I don't bother about L1 and L2. They will definitely get the job. And Gen Z, you can't even go nearby. Right? They are so smart that you cannot outperform them. If you feel that you are experienced, you can outperform Gen Z, you are done there. But senior engineers, you have to go prepared in a lots of way. The reason is mostly, probably, let's say you are 7 years or 10 years, what would have happened is you would have come from a traditional environment like, yeah, Gomes, I was in Linux for a long time. I was with Linux and middleware for a long time. I was with database for a long time, storage for a long time. I worked on EAX, Solaris. When you hear EAX and Solaris, you can tell that they are like me, Budapa, right? They are, let's say, I am 80s guy, right? Done. I'm 84. I completed my degree in 2005. Only my guys will talk about Solaris or EX or WebSphere application server or JBoss. But what about the other guys? So now the experienced resources, even though you are about 10 years or above 7 years, you should be able to match this particular your overall experience to the OpenShift. If you are into middleware for a long time, wherein let's say you have been deploying your application on a WebSphere application server or JBoss or Tomcat, whatever it is, you try to understand what are the different application teams. Okay, let me type this as well. Probably it might help you. Guys, let me take a pause. Are we all good so far? Or am I boring out of the context, or is it really helping? Can you just ping me if it is going fine? Okay, yeah, PDF is all about the interview questions, the JD and all those things. Yeah, Ganesh. Guys, so far all good? Are we on track? Any other questions for anyone of you? Yeah, PDF is about the JD, interview questions, and troubleshooting questions, and the opportunities, Ganesh. Okay, and the PDF, if you are asking about the Red Hat course content, that is the official Red Hat course syllabus. Okay. Anything else you want to share, or are we good? Can we just put a yes or no if we are on track, and are you all good? Yeah. Okay. Others, any thumbs up? Let's be interactive. All of you are from home, huh? Any thumbs up, guys? Everyone? I believe most of them I know. I believe so. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. I'm in office only, guys. If anyone wants to come directly and talk, feel free to come. Okay. Let's say coming back. Let's say you are a middleware engineer. As a middleware engineer, you'll be responsible to work on the JBoss or Tomcat or WebSphere application server, web server, and all these areas will be working, right? So now you will be talking to your application team, of course. You know the DB team, you know the storage team, what they do, and you know the Linux team and Windows team who will be responsible to create your VM, and you will be knowing about the testing team and Scrum Master also, right? Now, what similar way is database or storage. So whoever is in a traditional role like this for a long time, you are switching to OpenShift. Now you have to change your profile in a way that you have to understand what these all different teams are doing, how after the application team is giving you the application, they develop the code, they will build it using Maven, and they will give the binary. Now the binary will be jar, var, etc. Right? They will give that. Now you, as your responsibility is build that as a container image, right? Then test it or scan it, then push to registry, JFrog or Docker Hub or Query registry, wherever it is, then deploy it on either Kubernetes or OpenShift or EKS or AKS, wherever it is, right? This flow you have to understand. So try to understand this more, and you'll be able to easily switch. Who doesn't traditionally feel that he goes whether OpenShift is difficult? No. Understand the overall flow, then slowly be able to come in, right? That's how we have to interpret. Then you understand the JD here as well. See here, it involves UPI and API cluster installation also. Nowadays, for all the senior engineers, L3 and above, installation is not an optional question. Installation is a mandatory question, what everyone are asking, because most of the companies started adapting to OpenShift, or they wanted to develop a test cluster first as a POC and bring in newly to the thing. And there are also several issues going on when they are handling the on-premises. So they want a guy who understands the UPI, that is infrastructure provisioned installer, and installer provisioned the infrastructure, and user provisioned infrastructure. This level of understanding what they do, how I can install on top of a bare metal directly, how I can install on top of a virtualization, how I can install my OpenShift on a AWS or other cloud providers. You have to mandatorily understand those nuances as well. Go to the Red Hat OpenShift container platform installation documentation. Okay, go there and you'll be able to see all those things. Here the installation overview is there, and you'll be able to find this has different aspects. It will be in Alibaba, AWS, Azure, all those things. Please at least select bare metal and AWS and try to read all the steps. Try to understand what they are doing, and you'll be able to clear the interview as well, right? So this one, we have a customized course itself for this, wherein we talk about the installation, we give the hands-on, we talk about the architecture and everything, right? So there, if you see advanced networking, machine config operator, GitOps, especially on Argo CD and RHACM, Tecton pipelines and OpenShift pipeline. The reason is understand what is within OpenShift also as a pipeline. So yes. Okay, and then the security operators, ACS, StackRox, right? That is an open source Kubernetes native security solutions. Go and understand that. Logging part. Now, even now, right, before this meeting started, I pinged my DevOps engineer and told that, sorry, we are actually working on a related SaaS product for the supermarkets, wherein we can give the solution for them, which will include the mobile app, and the customers nearby that particular radius, instead of ordering it in Swiggy, they can have the supermarket thing also, and we give it in a subscription basis. So our developers are developing that. So currently the testing is going on. Soon we'll be hosting that application on the AWS. So that is one. And another one is a Malaysian logistics company, wherein we are providing a solution for a haulage related category. They are totally into road transport. So we are helping them with fuel management, truck management, driver management, then ROTs, invoice, and integrating with the Malaysian government to validate the e-invoices, reportings, entire truck maintenance, all those things we are working on. Okay, if you want to just see how the sample is, let's say I just log in here, and if you see this, okay, this is the inbuilt application. You can see all these areas we are developing, right? Several menus like order, ROT management, dispatching, live GPS tracking, WhatsApp integration, driver management. All these are different microservices. So if you see every box is a microservice developed in Node.js, or it can be on React, it can be on Java, Spring Boot. As per that particular application weightage, we used to work on the microservers, and the database also will differ, right? It can be a, let's say, it can be a MySQL container, it can be a PSQL, it can be Amazon DynamoDB, it can be a RDS MySQL. So different database for each and everything based on the transactions, how that is being used, how that particular microservice is being used, we work on that particular database, right? So if you are above 15 years and looking for an architectural related position, this is how I will tell, right? For this, the entire architecture is being designed by me, right? What I will do, I will go and sit and I will talk about authentication, authorization, how the JWT token is coming to my request, who will validate the token, how the request is coming in, and what are the different database am I going to use. Am I going to use one database for everything? Not at all. We don't do that in real time, right? Every services will be having a level of transaction, that too you have to understand. For example, let's say in Book My Show you go. Yesterday, Durandar Part 2 movie has been released, right? So far, probably let's say there were no big movies which came in. So the amount of navigations on the Book My Show was pretty less. But now, as soon as the Durandar movie came in, from last 1 week, the booking has been going overflowing, and every theaters are getting overbooked, and all those things are going on, right? So that particular service and that particular payment service is getting more traffic over there. So such sort of things, when I predict that this particular service will have more traffic and transactions will be a lot for that, then I will go and decide that what database I want for that. For the regular report storage or the notification aspect, I will go and use another database. So this is how you have to go and say, and you have to go and convince the customer that why I should use let's say this particular database, or a OpenShift ODF, or a NAS or SAN. You have to talk about that as well if you are into an architect role. So these are the aspects you have to talk about from an architectural perspective and go and provide it. Now coming back. So for these two things, grocery and this, what I've told my engineers, it is our own product, right? We are giving as a SaaS now. So we have to host it. I have to make sure that there is a cost optimization, and there should be a good performance also. So instead of going for an enterprise solutions, what other companies go like Dynatrace or or Datadog and Splunk and all those things, I have told that for logging, we have open source solutions. For monitoring, we have Prometheus and Grafana, and you can go and take other aspect as well, and you use that. So this week, the Jira user story, what has been assigned to my DevOps engineer is this solution they have to provide. So today they are giving a demo on the pipeline aspect, wherein we have used Tecton, Jenkins, and Argo CD, a combination. We will decide today how we are going to use it, right? Because we can have a combination of CI/CD tool or a separate tool also, right? That's up to us. But today we are seeing the POC and we'll decide. But from our company perspective, I have totally divided on what are the licensed version we are going to go, what are the open source versions we are going to go. At the same time, we meet the security as well. So that level of understanding a senior engineer must be having. That is how the requirement will be, right? If I am the product owner, if you are the OpenShift engineer, let's say you are a L3 engineer, I'll come and tell that, hey, I have around 5 microservices. These microservices consume this much amount of resources, and these much amount of users will come and access. For example, let's say practically for the grocery application, my customer was saying we are based out of Tambaram. So we cover a radius of 10-kilometer radius, not even 10, I would say 5 to 6 kilometer of radius. Within this radius, we have to make sure that all the customers know about this particular application. Approximately, to start with, per day, 10 customers. In 1 month, it has to be 100 customers. Within 6 months, it has to increase to 500 to 800. This is the goal. Now I know the number of users who are going to access, and I'll slowly try to understand how many orders and transactions are happening. Based on that, I will set for that multi-tenancy, I will set the resources properly, right? This is what it gives. Now you have to tell me from the OpenShift how many pods you want, how many namespace you will go with that, what resource quota will you provide, how much CPU, memory, and storage will you provide, how you will deploy your application in an automated way, how will you monitor. Let's say one of the customer complains that, hey, when I make the payment, the transaction is not going. For me, it says debited, but it is not going there. We are stuck. My order is not getting placed. And from the supermarket, he calls me and tells that, hey, Gomes, one customer chatted me like this, but something is wrong. Can you check it? Now, immediately, only if you have a graphical Grafana or some other monitoring tool, you can go and check the logs on that particular time frame and understand what the problem is, what that user has faced, and try to filter with the IP address in the OpenShift and go and understand what the problem is. Here, the problem is not with the pod. The pod is running. For a particular transaction alone, it is missing. Now, what will you do? It is a bottleneck, right? So, have you enabled your logging tracing, and where exactly you'll go and tell that, hey, this particular transaction is standing here. This is the transaction ID which has got stuck for so and so reasons. I'll go and troubleshoot. That level of understanding you have to have, because I also will ask my team to immediately check that for all other customers it is working. For this particular customer, the transaction is stuck. Can you go and check? Check and give me the solution. Done. Right? How will you do that? So this is what you should be able to make it. Then disaster recovery, HCD backup. How will you do the backup? You should know that, right? OADP solution or any other open source solution. How will you take the backup? What frequency will you take the backup? Where will you store that backup information? In case of any issues, how will you restore? And remember, for a disaster recovery, every company, mainly if it is an insurance-based company, every 6 months, they have a drill, DR drill, wherein they will go and validate their environment to understand whether everything is working or not. So if you say you have mentioned you have worked on DR, be ready to explain whether that DR environment is an active or active passive environment. In case of any entire data center downtime, how long will it take for you to bring up the DR environment and make sure the application is running? How will you access that? How will you access the DR environment quickly using SSH or whatever it is? How will you bring that? So how will you do the drill? What is the frequency of making that drill? Right? What are the frequent issues you face? These many things you should be ready to answer when you talk about disaster recovery, especially on the HCD. Why? HCD is a data store where you store all the data. Whenever you create any objects, all the data are stored in the HCD. Through HCD only we used to restore. Or I already have a parallel sync to my DR network. I no need to restore anything. I'll just bring that disaster recovery there. These options you should be able to explain when you talk about the disaster recovery, right? Then OpenShift virtualization. Guys, remember this question most of the interviewer are asking. Whatever JD we are posting, even now for Dubai and Calcutta, virtualization into the picture. Even for the Ford company, virtualization also one of the main part. Nepal, when we went, we migrated several clusters there. They are also virtual machine. The reason is most of the companies are impacted by the cost structure, and they wanted to move from VMware to Red Hat OpenShift or any other solution for that. And Red Hat OpenShift virtualization is a major one. So the traditional VM, I'll be able to lift and shift it. That is why we have a CR when you install the virtualization operator called forklift controller. Means you just lift it like a fork, like in industrial, civil industry, we have forklift machine, right? It will lift and put it in the other place, right? A forklift. Similar way, you lift the VM and you put it over in OpenShift virtualization. So understand about that, how you expose your application, understand that. Then the automation as well. Because the data center or the initial thing when you are working manually, it's fine. Then you have to go and understand the continuous improvement opportunities, and with the help of Ansible playbooks, go and fix it. Write the playbooks for total installation itself. You have it in the Red Hat documentation itself, right? If you are yet to explore that, just go here and say Red Hat OpenShift container platform automation using Ansible. Just type, you have this option here itself, right? In the Red Hat website itself, you have this. See, planning your Red Hat Ansible automation platform operator installation, Red Hat OpenShift container platform. Done. Just go and read this and you can start doing it. You have an operators to do that, but understand what are these things will do, what are the prerequisite, what are the limitations also. Understand that and you go and do it, right? In the Red Hat website, you have it. You just need to go and install this. Now, in one of the recent interview, what my friend was taking, right? He was sharing the Gomes. Nowadays, I'm talking to them, they talk about operator. But when I ask about the license, because we really had an issue, we are asking about the license. We have already got the platform license. So we ask them whether Ansible automation platform operator license or subscription is included in that or not, right? Or the QA operator, whether it is included or not. They are not answering those, right? They are looking for those answers as well. So try to understand when you learn about these operators also without fail, right? So L3 engineer, if you are also yet to update your profile, update well. Have some problem statement also if you want to put it. You just put some scenario also, I'll put it. Nowadays, the fancy item, what others are saying is, goes the profile should be just one page. You put your entire profile, what you know in ChatGPT, it will give in one page, you go and talk. I really don't know with one page what I can talk, because from a aged guy like me, if I look at your profile, probably I will forget what my environment is. I will try to read your profile and understand what you have mentioned in your profile. And I or even my known circles, what we try to understand is, whatever you have mentioned in your profile, are you good with that? If you are good with that, I'm happy. I'll recruit you inside. If you see my environment, you'll be able to prove yourself. Done. It's not that I'll ask all the questions based on my environment alone, right? So my personal take, just a personal take, it's up to you. Just try to elaborate your profile. That's totally fine. But whatever you know, you put it. Don't copy paste and go. That will not help you. Okay. So keep a boundary for this as well, but learn a lot and go. Do more hands-on exercise and go. Only when you do the hands-on, you'll start remembering those commands and you'll be able to go and present yourself in an interview. Right now, let's say OC login. This is one of the Red Hat lab, guys. You have a very good platform to practice. It's really nice. Let me access the console. Yeah, let me check any questions meanwhile. Oh, there are questions. Nice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, guys. Okay. Okay, the console is opening. Identity manager, I think so. Admin Red Hat OCP. Okay, done. So this is the Red Hat OpenShift console. Whoever is yet to navigate, please go and navigate all the menus. And in case of any issues or trying to understand your cluster health, you can see here, see the status. We have cluster, dynamic plugins, control plane, or operators, insights. Insight is disabled, so you will be able to get the insights and suggestions. Operators, always every operators must be up and running, right? The first cluster health check, what we do is OC get CO, cluster operators. All the cluster operators must be up and running, right? So you try to navigate those things, try to navigate the projects. We have the storage. Most of the question, they talk about the storage and networking also. They try to understand what is your level of understanding in persistent volume client, and storage class. What are the areas I need to go for a static provisioning and dynamic provisioning, right? And what are the areas we have predefined storage classes which are getting automatically created? Understand that as well. And especially, you have to talk about the difference between the stateful set and stateless, your deployment, right? Stateful set. Right, then we have storage, understand PV, PVC, storage classes. How you configure, what you configure, And especially what I see is RWX, ROX, or RWO. Please try to understand this also very well and go and present yourself how to do it, how these are getting connected to the cloud energetic. Stateful set. Why? If my application is a monolith or a database like that, I can go for a monolith so that my fully qualified name, especially the DNS name, the pod name, or the data which is also getting stored, I'll be able to retain that. Even when your pod is getting restarted, the name of the pod, the DNS name will stay the same. The IP address will differ, okay? But the name will stay the same. That is why we go for a stateful set so that I have a persistent volume. How will I configure a stateful volume with the persistent volume? This question has been, they have been asking more. The main reason is virtualization. As the VM you are migrating here, and these VMs are also getting into a concept of stateful set as well, because VM is like that, okay, but exactly not, I don't pack it as a stateful set. You have to try to understand the nuances as well. But all the virtual machines are clubbed to a PVC and the storage class, right? You have to talk about the default storage classes like ODF, RBD, right? Then ODF, RBD, virtualization, right? Then NUBA, then other ZEF options, right? Or in case of, let's say, NFS storage, these storage classes you need to understand and tell the interviewer that, hey, I have a virtualization, I use the RBD. And if you go for 316 exam, EX 316 virtualization exam, most of the question they'll say that map this VM to the respective storage class. Why? So that your virtual machine will have the disk associated and you'll be able to take it, right? And one more basic things what most of them are unable to answer is the difference between block, file storage, and object storage. And who is providing that? ZEF or NUBA, who is providing that? Try to understand those aspects as well, right? For instance, block storage, ZEF, right? File storage, I can go with RGW or MGW. Object storage, I'll go with NUBA, RS3, right? MinIO, we have options, right? And all these three categories are in ODF itself, and that we can understand how it works, right? So slowly understand these nuances as well. If you are a L3 and senior engineer or looking for a job related to virtualization, mandatorily understand this. Whether I'm going to connect my internal ODF itself or through my storage class, I'm going to connect a NFS or another cloud storage for my virtual machine. And when I go with virtualization, mandatorily know with the network and storage, both. Why? Because network definitely will have a question. You have a default network and you have a secondary network, which is nothing but multis. In exam, we call it as multi-home, right? Wherein by default, I have a network wherein my pod and other things can communicate each other. If I feel that few pod to storage communications are a specific set of, let's say, a payment service. I am deploying a payment service application, which is responsible to create the order and place the order and complete the payment. I click on payment, it goes to Razorpay. I choose my UPI and make the payment, it comes in, right? So the entire payment service, I feel that I don't want to use the default network and I wanted to use a different network which has a very good high bandwidth and security. Then I'll go for a secondary network. So how will I configure the secondary network? What is required? Why am I using NAD? Why I need NM state operator? All these things you need to understand. Whether I need mandatorily both NM state operator and NAD or either one is fine. In case of NM state because if you are working on a data on premises, definitely the questions are around the NM state operator also. How you bound your network. It's responsible network team, but questions are there, right? So you have to know this. And if you are attempting 316 virtualization, the question, one of the questions on multi-home, wherein you create a virtual machine, configure the storage, and configure the secondary network as well, along with the NAD and all those things. That is also coming to the picture, right? So when your JD says this, you have to go and learn that. Then other navigations, try to understand. I mean, in case of virtualization, Mostly they will ask about snapshot also. When they talk about snapshot, the next question is, do I need a downtime? Whether I need to stop the VM and take a snapshot, or can I run it on, can I do a hot plug, right? Then build, then observability especially. And nowadays in 4.20 and above 4.18, the observability options which contains the alerting metrics and dashboards are pretty nice and giving more information, so that you need not go and install any specific areas of monitoring tools as well. Okay, then administration, user management especially, right? Basics. Try to understand the user types, guys. Most of them are failing in those areas as well. Okay, some message. Okay, let's say we have a regular user, then we have group, right? Then we have service account, right? You try to understand what a service account does. How will you provide additional RBAC access to that? What a regular user does, what a group does. All these things also please understand, because along with this you have a concept called SCC, right? Security context constraints. How will you meet that? Most of the companies are covering all the security aspect, guys. Please, okay, make sure that you understand about ACS, compliance operators, and what these operators will do, implementing SCC or implementing the SC Linux. How you make sure that these things are happening, proper permissions and everything, right? Because when you go and work for a bank or a telecom industries, they talk about the compliance, and they have a set of complaints like ISO, CAS, or PCI derivatives and all those things, right? So learn that as well if you are going for a L3 aspect. Definitely have to learn. No more options. Okay, if you're a L3, if you're yet to understand that, above 7 years experience, Holmes, only now I learned OpenShift. How do I learn that? Try to find a solution. Come to us. We are also ready to teach, or learn from YouTube, Udemy, whatever you want, but go prepared with all these questions as well, and the navigation of OpenShift. Now comes the architect and tech manager. Another poor souls, I would put it that way. The main resources who are required for any company for that matter, because being a startup, I cannot afford to have an architect or tech manager whom I can pay a lot of salary, right? So in my company, I play the role of marketing, sales manager, pre-sales, architect, tech manager, people manager, and until L1 level, I play all the role, because running a startup is not easy, which I can say from the journey what I have been having, right? But very nice roller coaster journey. I'm just enjoying this journey. It's like becoming like a addict for me, convincing the customers and all those things, right? Even yesterday there was a big for the past 1 week we are supporting a UAE client, and the discussions are not in a very normal way. The discussions are pretty tight, because their deadlines are so fast, and we have to give the solution in a faster way. And I am working as a consultant and an architect. Convincing them is very difficult. So being an architect or a technical manager, definitely you'll be involved in such discussion, wherein they'll say that, hey, Gomes, we have this particular environment, we have these many clusters, these are our applications which are running very old. They'll say that I cannot afford to have a team and work for 1 year to containerize all those things. What will you do? I have all my VMs here. What will you do? I'm paying a lot for the license for the VMware. What can you do? Now, simply you cannot go and tell in one liner that, hey, we have OpenShift virtualization. We can do the lift and put it over here. You cannot say that. You have to talk about storage. You have to talk about the security, the vault, the authentication, right? The networking, how we are going to make it, what the VPN is going to do. All these aspects you have to talk about and provide 2 to 3 solutions. For that, you have to go and talk about the application understanding as well. For me, what it is, after hearing the first call, I prepared a checklist. Bit inclined one for that particular client. I prepared a checklist and I requested them, can you please go through? It was around 40 to 43 questions. Okay. No customers will immediately give it, but I requested, and I was humbly requesting them, so that if you answer all these things with a most of the information, whatever information you can give, yeah, if that all those questions are answered, it's easy for me to provide a solution relevant to your environment, right? So that's how the architect is. And if you see this, for instance, we start with this. I mean, this is from a recent thing what we also take it. We also got this JD as well, right? Design multi-cluster hybrid multi-cloud platforms, referent architecture for enterprise workloads, ODF storage defined especially, service mesh, ACM policy governance, hyperscale integration, ARO, ROSA, OSD, FinOps and capacity planning strategy, zero trust security architecture. Guys, in this line, zero trust security architecture, multiple questions, because in OpenShift or any other technologies, we have a concept called zero trust. What does that mean? It means that by default, I will not allow any request to my OpenShift platform. Everyone who is coming in, I wanted to validate them. That is zero trust, right? So how that security design is being made? If you are working on an on-premises environment with a air-gapped environment or disconnected environment, what will you do? How will you make sure the security is intact? How will you mirror, or how will you bring the applications from the public registry to the internal registry? All these questions will come. The DR strategy, pre-sale architecture workshop and POC, they will see. The requirement is pretty high. You have to talk about OpenShift, you have to talk about Kubernetes, you have to talk about managed open services, ARO, and AWS ROSA. Then you have to talk about Kubernetes, EKS, those aspects as well. What is the difference? Then query registry, can I take from the cloud, or should I need to install it in my local? ODF, what will you configure? How efficient can you configure the ODF? These things you should be able to go and explain. So my request, if you are looking for an architect level position, okay, you take minimum 4 to 5 problem statements and try to design an architect yourself. Simply sit and break your head. Go to ChatGPT, Copilot, you tell them I need this architecture, that architecture, everything. Let's say if I have, let's say I put a simple architecture, okay? A single OpenShift cluster anatomy, right? Anatomy. Okay, as I said, from ChatGPT, please forgive me. Anatomy, probably from biology they have taken it. I don't know how this AI is, which model it took it, I don't know. Probably it has referred the incorrect machine learning model, and probably it went to a doctor related model. It has taken those information, it is feeding it over here, right? Because ChatGPT and the entire AI is all about what are the different models are you going to refer, what are the LLMs you are going to refer, how we are going to bring that models, what algorithms it will use based on the prompt what you use, how it is going to bring in. Anatomy, please forgive me, it's not my fault. My fault is I copy pasted. Now you see this, we have 3 control planes, 3 worker nodes, and I am talking about a namespace which has a service and route, then a config map, a secret, operator hub, image registry, PVC. Simple. Try to understand this more, right? If I talk about that, I should tell that, okay, I have 3 masters and 3 worker nodes. I have a Bastion node or a workstation or a jump server, which I have it to navigate the entire cluster. And I have 3 different clusters to manage. And or this is a one single cluster which we started testing initially, right? So I configured all these things. I was responsible to install this cluster first and go and showcase this. Now, the question might also come on, okay, can you explain about HyperShift? Why should I go for 3 control plane and waste my resources? Can you talk about HyperShift? The next question is that, right? HyperShift. Or can you talk about 2-node arbiter? At that time, you can go and tell, hey, can you tell me what a HyperShift is? Can you talk about 2-node arbiter? This one 4.20, right? So if you know this, even for a enterprise or SaaS environment, they use HyperShift, because in HyperShift itself, I can host all my control plane in an efficient way. 2-node arbiter is nothing but Instead of having a 3-hole control plane, I'll have 2 control plane and 1 node as a very lightweight, just to maintain the HCD quorum and the leadership elect. So that level of understanding you have to talk about. With just one simple cluster, you can talk about those things. How many namespace am I going to create? How will I go and talk about the quota, right? If I talk about namespace alone from an architecture perspective, I have to talk about the quota and limit range. Now the question is, I'm not going to ask you, can you tell me what is resource quota? Can you tell me what is limit range? No, I'm not going to ask that. Being an architect, I have in my on-premises, these are the only 7 servers I have. In that, one of the server is GPU, which is going to serve my OpenShift AI developers. So you have to talk about the remaining 6 servers. How will you optimize this? How will you manage the resources what we have, the CPU and memory? This is where we say that, okay, I'll use namespace. I will discuss with the developer now. Right? I will go and talk to the developer. I will schedule a meeting with them, try to understand their application, their user load, their forecast for the next 6 months, how they are going to test it. All these things I will understand. I will allocate the namespace accordingly, and I'll provide the access restriction also. I'll not give it to everyone. I'll keep restriction there as well, then I'll provide. This is how an architect should go and explain. They will expect the collaboration. How will you collaborate with your developer, testing team, your scrum master, your product owner especially? How will you understand all the views, then come up with the solution, right? Because architect is not a guy who will sit and work in a silo. Talk with everyone. That's what they are looking for. How well will you go and combine with the team, get more information, align with that particular environment requirement and design your architecture, right? There is no standard static architecture. You design it. How will you put your service? Route, guys. Route alone, you have to learn a lot, right? Route versus ingress. What I have in route, what are the options? Path-based routing, or I have a concept called edge route, pass-through route, or re-encryption. Why I need that? Why I need re-encryption? Why I need a pass-through? Why I need a edge route? I have to talk about that. What is the difference? Why can't I use ingress? Why should I go for OpenShift-ingress operator? What can I do in that? Then what level of certificate can I go for? Should I need to go for internal certificate or external certificate? In case of external certificate, do I need to go and configure it across every individual route, or should I go and put it in the OpenShift ingress? Do I have a concept called shared ingress controller? For route alone, they'll ask all this, because through an architect, they'll say, I have a URL, a single domain on the path-based routing. From there, it has to come to my DNS, load balancer, and then it has to come to my OCP cluster. Within that, I can have a service mesh. I can have a ingress. From there, it will take it to my route, my service, and part. This is one way of doing it. We have different ways. So you have to understand their requirement and go and design and talk about that. But from you, at least you have this, understand how it is, where the registry is placed, what the persistent volume client does, which storage have you configured. You talk about that as well. That is more, right? With the cluster means, I am talking about storage, I'm talking about my registry, I'm talking about operators, I'm talking about where my servers are hosted. One design, done, good. Talk about all those aspects. Then let's come to one more area. See, client, DNS, load balancer, firewall, ingress controller, HA proxy router, route, servers, deployment, HPA, pod, sidecar, right? If your customer is more into service mesh or Istio, if you don't know much, don't say that I know the basics. Nowadays, everyone started saying I know the basics. So to me personally, I try to understand what does basics means. Define basic. What is basic? So most of them are not answering that. So better if you know Istio, get into that radar. If you don't know, stay aside, because if you say you know, questions are very huge, because when it comes to service mesh, we have a difference between V2 versus V3. There itself we have a huge difference. The core components, that is your control plane itself, they have differentiated and made as HTOD, right? Wherein only the core components like Citadel, and Galley, and one more Pillar. All these things they have just they have put it together and as a functions within Istio daemon. And other things like Kiali or Jaeger, they have brought in as a separate operators to so that they are going upstream. If they wanted to update Istio, they just need to bother about the core components alone and not worry about Kiali, which will give the topology, geographical review, or the Jaeger, which will give you the tracing option. No. So you have to talk about that. And what service mesh will give? It can give traffic management, security, observability, resilience, right? They will ask about all those things. They will talk about MTLS. They will talk about peer authentication, destination rule, right? Where will you implement this, right? Then authentication, authorization, namespace level, namespace to namespace. There are several things on there. So if you don't know service mesh or Istio, don't get into that radar of question itself. But being an architect, you will not have an option. You have to provide that as well. And then one more thing is version difference. Now they have a concept called revision tag. You have to understand that as well, right? How I can have multiple control plane of Istio to manage with the canary based deployment. They are going on really well with respect to service mesh, right? You have to talk about that. ODF, ZEF, PVC, secret. Talk about all those things. Load balancer or firewall or DNS, you won't be managing. That can be done by an infra team or another team. But you should have an understanding of what firewall am I using, what load balancer I'm using, what DNS I'm using. All these things I need to understand, right? And then the complex one also, right? Which will have more and more informations on this. You talk about the OLM, CVO, API server, HCD, and all those things you have to talk about, right? The questions will be heavy for a complex environment, and you are supposed to talk about these things as well. So being an architect, if you go and attend an interview, at least you can take this JD itself and talk more on that. Hyperscaler integration, ROSA, zero trust, DR strategy, and everything. Minimum, even if you feel that you wanted to put a small architecture diagram which you are comfortable with, you put that as well. No one says no. Okay, because nowadays, badly I am looking for an opportunity, right? I want 1 minute, guys. My team is standing for a long time here outside. 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, fine. So we have all these aspects which you have to cover. Even if you wanted to put a diagram which you are totally comfortable, you put that. Most of them are desperate. Above 15 years, I'm getting so much calls and they're desperate to get an opening. So feel that you wanted to put that, don't get embarrassed. If you know, you put it, let them ask questions. Instead of they asking questions from their environment, at least when you put all these diagrams and things, let them ask the questions what you know, no problem. We are going to give a try, right? And the technical manager especially. I am from this background, right? I come from this technical manager and all those things. I manage the architects also. So being a technical manager, don't do a people management alone. Keep the people management 20% and 80% into technical. Okay, if you are a technical manager, my strong personal view is 20% people management and 80% you should have it with technical. I would say mandatory, no more options. Because most of the friends, what I see is they are into people management or scrum master or a project manager very long time. They did really well with respect to that particular role, but now slowly most of the operations are getting automated. So they are moving towards a person who knows technical as well. So I would say put it in this split or even bit lesser, but don't say 50-50. No more 50-50. Go above 60 only for technical. Sit and learn. Who is a people manager for a long time? He goes, can I do that? Do I have the capability? That really mandatory, all those things. Don't feel bad at all, guys. No problem at all. Probably we came from an environment wherein we didn't get more exposure. Probably we didn't even know that we will come to a situation like this where AI will dominate or several things will get automated in a very faster pace, right? Probably it's not our fault or not our leader's fault or not the company's fault where we worked for a long time, right? Probably the visionary, we didn't go until we didn't see this much, but now at least we know that, right? You start learning, there is no rocket science, right? There is no rocket. You sit and learn. They are manufacturing drones and missiles in all at once. We didn't know all those things, but why can't we learn a technical aspect, right? If you sit and learn, understand more, go and present. They say no. They say yes, you got an opportunity and go inside. Start learning. From a leadership perspective, you have to tell that I manage minimum 7 team members. I work on the appraisal also. Beyond that, from the technical aspect, I know these technical nuances. I do the proof of concept when I go and work with the customer. When I bring in a new solution like OpenShift AI operator or OpenShift virtualization or the ACS, advanced cluster security, all these things, I myself work along with the team. I make the hands-on dirty. I go and navigate the console. I do the configurations and everything. Then I go forward with that. So I do know the understanding so that I can talk to the client in a technical way. That's how we have to work on, right? You can see drive, container platform strategy and roadmap. You can go and tell your team that, hey, I just read that these 2 strategies, we can try it out. You split the team. Two of you guys, you come up with this solution. 2 of you guys come up with this solution. Ask them to come and give you a demo. You also learn with that. Understand more and you talk to the client in a technical way, right? Then define the SLA, SLO, risk management team. All these are fine, but go technical as well. Proof of concept is one of the more important stuff. Then you should also talk about, if you're a technical manager, what issues you faced in an environment, how will you solve it, what was the benefit out of it. You have to tell that what your team did, what exactly you did, what was your main role. Don't tell that I dedicated my team, I did this, I did that, they did this. No, you have to specifically, first of all, present yourself. They are about to hire you. You have to tell what skills you have got, right? You navigate well and go and tell that, hey, these are the areas I did. I did this, I did installation, I did the POC, then I asked my team to do it. My team did this, then we were able to get this benefit. We got into this troubleshooting, we were part of it. This was a particular issue. Give 2 scenarios, let it go. Don't talk more as well, right? But give those scenarios in a way you are telling that, hey, indirectly in your mind that I'm comfortable with these areas. You please ask me in those areas, I will be able to answer, right? In that way, you go and present yourself, right? So architect and technical manager above 15 years, plenty of opportunities are coming. Most of the companies, even though they post these opportunities outside, why you don't get response from the company is they are internally posting their internal resources because their bench itself is full. So they are trying to place it. So don't feel bad, keep trying. We are getting opportunities. Opportunities are there outside India also. So tune your profile. That is the first point itself is mirror the JD keywords. Whatever you have in your JD, copy paste in the ChatGPT, update your profile, keep updating. Don't feel that, hey, Gomes, I'm updating my profile often. Are you going to work? No, right? You put it to the AI, it is going to give you the answer. But just don't take a printout or send to them, and during the interview only don't ask the interviewer itself, hey, have I put that keyword in my profile? Okay, I am also new to that. Don't say that. Okay, you go through the profile very well, but day and night you work and sit and read like Rajini or Dhanush or any other actors. If you go to the shooting spot, even though they are great actors, on the shooting spot you can see that they'll be practicing what they have to do, right? How they have to do that particular performance, how they have to do the dance. And the previous night they will sit and read the entire big dialogue, right? For example, one of the movie came with the quote scene. So the hero was saying that this was one of the tough shooting spot for me. So the whole, I took 3 nights to memorize the entire things, right? You have to, because that flow should be there. A Malayalam actor, the flow should be there. So he has spent more time to read that script properly and then go and take. And because the director has told that, better to go with one shot itself. So that will be good for the, we are giving a close-up shot and the long shot as well. So if it goes with a same day take or the same day, it will be really nice to have the whole stuff. And the actor did a good preparation the whole night for 3 days and he presented went well. Similar way, when you get your profile, please read that properly, understand the nuances and go and present. Right? Then quantify everything with the numbers. If you are into a leadership perspective, tell them. Or here one more thing is, definitely they'll ask how many clusters you managed, how many nodes, how many parts, how many namespace, whether your entire data center has gone down, what will you do? Talk about that. Then add forgotten skills. This is very nice word, right? You definitely, even though I am 17 years or above experience, definitely I will not be able to put these words at all. Even from Google, I would have not taken. But he is giving these words, very nice words. Forgotten skills, right? Nice word to understand. Include overlooked skills, monitoring, logging, backups, GitOps. These things probably we would have not felt that these are required. But you know what? These are the questions they are asking you as well. Because when you go and get a job, you are responsible to work on all these aspects as well. Right? So that's a very good pointer. And make sure you practice and go as well. You can be a L2 engineer or L3 engineer, an architect, whoever it is. Learn those definitely and go for it. Okay. Certificate, please do it. I am there. Come to us. That's what here we are there for. If you say Red Hat OpenShift, we have Red Hat OpenShift 1, which talks about Devo 188. Then okay, I know I am talking more, but at least for few of you who are really looking for a job, please listen to the recording as well if you feel bored. But if this is really helping you to crack the interview, if you get selected, please ping me and tell that, hey, Gomes, this session really helped me to crack the interview. I was able to present in a different way and I got to the job. So I'll be happy about that. I'll be giving you a treat. Okay, I'll be happy that the session really worked out. I mean, for whoever is looking for a job very badly, right? Then OpenShift virtualization, Devo 316 is there. Then we have AI 267, which is nothing but OpenShift AI, right? Then we have OpenShift Service Mesh, Devo 328. Okay, then we have 288, which is related to OpenShift development. Right, all these are with Red Hat OpenShift itself. So many we have, right? And we take all these courses. Then with respect to the base one, we have Red Hat Linux, which is RH199, Red Hat Ansible, which is RH294. We also help you with Red Hat Certified Architect as well, RHCA. Being an architect myself, I can guide you on that as well. Right? You need to have 2 + 5 certifications. Means these two are mandatory, and among this, and there are few more certifications. So with that, at least you need to have 5 certifications, and if you take those 7 certifications, you become a Red Hat certified architect. Okay. So coming back, certifications are important from my personal opinion. If you feel that no, Gomes, I have good experience, I can present myself, very good, go and do that as well, which is not mandatory. It is well and good for a screening perspective. And there are companies who tell that, hey, I need certification only, then I can talk to the client. Even now, I just completed my virtualization certificate in last month. And this month or early next month, I am doing 328, which is service mesh. The reason why I am pushing myself is I am trying to get a client from Kuwait actually. But to do that, they said, at least one of you from your company must be certified, only then we can take it. So I am studying a lot on that aspect. 328, this one. Okay, this is the one. Now coming back, then tool stacks, OpenShift, Argo CD, Tecton, Ansible, all those things. Cloud and hybrid platform, understand those things as well. Okay, so make sure your profile has a combination of these things and you understand those as well to an extent, not everything, at least to an extent. Okay. Then guys, I have given a set of questions here. I'll upload it, and I believe Soundarya will help you on how to get this. As soon as a webinar ends, you will get an email as well. There also you can request a PDF. Here what I have done is I have put some set of OpenShift interview questions. And did I get this? Most of the questions, I mean, few of the questions are from my from the students who are cleared here or from my other client partners. Most of the questions are from Red Hat website itself like this. See, Red Hat website is having this. Most of us didn't see. This itself is good enough. You learn about these, for example, configuration and log files for standard Linux components, networking related stuff. Then it goes on well until OpenShift also, right? Try to understand this and go, right? Or chapter 7 in your Red Hat OpenShift documentation, troubleshooting. This talks about, see here, troubleshooting installations, verifying node health, troubleshooting CRI/O container runtime issues, troubleshooting operating system, troubleshooting operator issues, investigating pod issues. Example, let's say I go to investigating pod issues. See, OpenShift container platform leverages the Kubernetes concept of pod. Okay, good. Now let's say understanding the pod error states. You go and run OC get pods, you get error image pull back off, error invalid time, error image inspect. See, with error alone, I have these many things, right? Go and understand those things. Read at least 3 if you're able to 10 in interview, well and good. Because most of us know about error image pull and error image pull back off alone. Other things we are not doing. Understand that what the errors are, so that you can talk about the pod life cycle in the interview. Then you review the pods, what are things available. Then storage issues especially. You are getting plenty of questions in this. Resolving multi-attach error. See, the error itself is unable to attach or mount volumes, unmounted volumes, unattached multi-volumes. Good. Can tell that, hey, in my environment, I got this issue. When a node crashes or shut down abruptly, the attached RWO volume is expected to be unmounted from the node. Done. A server, a bare metal server, mostly on premises this happens, right? Your node is crashing and the server is gone down. What happens? The attached volume, whatever is added, right? It is expected to get unmounted from the node. It is getting unmounted, right? That can be used by a pod scheduled on other. So when the pod is going automatically scheduled on the other available node, because we have the replica set and the controller and scheduler option. However, that particular volume didn't get attached on the new node at all. Failed node is unable to unmount the attached volume. It is not, failed node is not unmounting. So the new node is not attaching that volume. What will you do? I am getting this error. This is one good scenario, right? So then understand in interview, even though if you are not faced, go and tell that, hey, actually in my environment, I got this. This is the issue. I solved this particular procedure to solve it. Done. No one will go and verify the authenticity that whether you worked on that or not. But my take is you learn that first and go and present, not for namesake, because you are getting hired because we trust you and we know that hey, you have answered this much. When we hire you, you'll be able to come and handle that particular role properly, and you can also grow, the company also grow. It's not that you cheat the interview, get placed, and you'll go and manage some more. No. You learn that dedicatedly so that wherever you go, you can give your 100% and make sure that, hey, you can utilize my skills. I'm there to support. Don't worry, I'm here, right? So go through this. Troubleshooting Windows container workload. This is also going on. Even now we are working on how to connect an application to a SQL container, right? When I wanted to connect to a SQL server, there is a concept called Kerberos or KRB stuffs involved in that. How I can configure, we are working on that currently, right? How I can create the KeyTab file, how I configure it. Those things are coming in. I'm not telling that you have to learn that, but at least understand this. Machine config operator does not install few things. Then what can it do? Investigating why machine config does not become compute node. Try to understand that. So go through these links itself, which will give you more and more troubleshooting scenarios. Understand those. Don't read everything. At least take a handful of stuff. Read properly. Try to execute on the server directly, navigate and learn more. So those sort of things I'll put it here. Now just by seeing this, I'll ask a question. Can you tell me about deployment config, how to configure that? Just tell that deployment config got deprecated. It is getting removed in the next version. There is no more deployment config. They are bringing in deployment alone. Done. Right? So that level of understanding, why the pod is crash flow back off, what is a route and how does ingress works in OpenShift. L1 questions, right? You go and understand all those things. Then from L2, it will go a bit further. PV, PVC, storage class, network policies, the pretty nuances within HP alone. Horizontal pod autoscaler. right? Horizontal pod autoscaler alone, if I talk about this, I can ask multiple questions. The reason is, in the recent versions, the specifications have improvised that I can fine tune the way my auto scaling should happen. It's not that my auto scaling should happen at a time, rather in percentage levels, I can do it. So what are those nuances? What are those specifications? I can do that as well. So that level of understanding you can have it, right? Difference between OC admin and OC. How will you perform an HCD backup? Another important question. Then must gather. Being an architect or L3 engineer or L2 engineer, understand the must gather definitely. In case of any issues wherein you involve the Red Hat OpenShift team, they will come and tell that, hey, can you run the must gather and give me the information and upload it in the case. So you have to know what a must gather is, what they have given the Red Hat documentation, how to. Red Hat document is pretty clear on must gather. Just read that and go. Questions are there as well, right? Then the startup probes. Then OpenShift service mesh. How will you upgrade your cluster? Do I have downtime or not? In case of issues, what will you do? Can I skip the minor version and do the upgrade? Can I do the major version upgrade, skip other version and do it? What channel will you use? What you have done the most? What issues you have faced during upgrade? That level of understanding you need to have, right? Then scenarios I have given. Then architectural level question. If you're above 15 years, please take time to read this. And I am also fine-tuning our courses as well to include more and more on this. The reason is I'm getting more and more requests and information from my friends or others that, hey Gomes, I am losing the job. I am 15 years or I am 17 years experience, what to do? So that's why I'm refining my questions as well. The way we are teaching also, I'm refining that because that is helping me from consultation aspect as well. So architect level questions, all those things are, especially technical manager. If you are from a manager or if your manager in your company is struggling for some reasons, please help him. You can give my number. I am also there to guide him. I won't say that come and learn here mandatorily, not at all. In the hardships, if I'm able to help them with any assistance from my experience, whatever I can give, I'll be happy enough. You share my number, let them call me, and they can ask any questions. Whenever I'm free, I'm going to talk to them. Probably I'll help whatever information I want to give. I can share that experience also. Then from their experience, probably they can also at least get a job soon, right? So I've given those as well. And this PDF will be shared to you. Here we have given the certificate roadmap also, how you can get it, what are the different Red Hat certifications available and how you can achieve Red Hat certificate architect, right? One more thing, guys, when you go for an interview, you will not, every time you will not be given a platform to go and explain, right? But follow this, okay? I'm also new to this, but somehow in a way, this is what I have been presenting. I don't know the process and the name for that, but I have been doing this for a long time. Situation, technology, execution, post-check, right? The structured step framework. So understand the situation, you put a situation to that, bring in the technology execution to that, and the post-check validation. This is how you go and explain to them, right? My take on that, right? Then the STAR method, situation, task, action, result. You quantify the impact and what are the benefit to the customer, how fast we are able to make it. By bringing in the automation, we are able to save these many hours. All those things you talk about, right? Then reference the Red Hat documentation. Then ask clarifying questions. You can ask them the question as well, okay? If you know well, you can ask them, can you tell me how many clusters you have, what environment you have, on all those things. But when you go itself, don't go and ask those questions. They'll get offensive. But when you present yourself properly, at the end, you can ask them about these questions as well. That will give some more confidence to the interviewer that, okay, this guy knows something, right? But meaningful questions. Then draw the architecture verbally. Just tell them that, hey, the flow will be like this. It will go to DNS. It will go to load balancer. I have a data par. I have a service mesh. I have a path-based routing. I have a wildcard certificate like this. It will go to my service. It will go to my route. My route, I'll do the edge route. I have a TLS termination there. I'll do a re-encryption there. I'll send it to my OpenShift. I'll send as a plain text. Like this, you talk about the verbal architectural stuff as well, like that, right? Talk about that. Then few commands also you can talk about. All these things you can talk. So any questions? Sorry if I have bored you for a long time, guys. Yeah, did that really help everyone? All good. Any questions? Thank you all for joining. Vanakkam, guys, and who is celebrating Ramzan? Happy Ramzan. Eid Mubarak. Bye, everyone.